Hello and welcome back to the Rugged Rockhound. Back at the good old Allen place, as we're calling it now, I guess. And get some more polishing done on some cool stuff. So, if you remember, I was working on these two opals, started prepping them. So these have glued, and I could now grind those down and turn those in. And he's showing me a little bit of silversmithing, because we're going to set the two opals that I'm giving my wife. If you remember these from the last video, I'm going to set those. And he's showing me how to do it. These are going to be great. Anyway, I'm going to do those. And then, of course, we've got tons of stuff over here to do. Yes, you want somebody to play with you, don't you? Anyway, so we'll get to work on that. All right, let's do it. Here we go. We'll grind down the edge, get these all ground down to the quartz, and then we'll get them dopped, and then we'll turn them into jewelry. Here we go. Great, now that I got the opals dopped up and they're cooling down, remember this one I forgot to finish on the last video? Well, I'm finally going to finish it this video, so let's finish polishing this up and see how it looks. Well, here it is, all polished up. Took me a while. The tops here, because they weren't rounded enough, I was having a hard time getting the scratches out of the center on each of these. So it took me a lot longer than it should have. And there are still some scratches, but as long as it's enough to where you can see into it, that's the main reason. So there it is from the side. Yeah, see, this was a lot easier to polish here because it had that nice curve. These were too flat. Anyway, that's how it looks. All polished up. Really nice. And it was a lot of work. Here it is. First one all polished up. It's nice. It's unfortunate though, the quartz has some defects in it. You can see there's a defect there and here. But that's okay. It's still a beautiful opal. Sweet. Okay, next one. When I dopped this, the stick fell when I wasn't paying attention, so this is going to be fun. I'll make it work though. This one I think is going to be stunning though. And there it is, all done. Wow, that one's beautiful, isn't it? Even with the crooked stick, did just fine. Wow. These are so beautiful, aren't they? Wow, these opals are great. Definitely going to be going back to Spencer next year. Spencer Opal Mines. Next up, let's do something quick and easy. We'll do a little bit more of the Clay Canyon Veracite. Here we go. And there it is, polished up. Looks nice, like usual. The Veracite right in the middle tends to have a few scratches I didn't quite get because the Veracite's softer and grinds a little faster. Anyway, turned out nice. And this is going to be the last thing for today. So I'm going to make this video over 2 days. Most videos I've done over about 3 days. This one I'm probably just going to do 2 days since I already had the opals prepped and ready to go. So this one I'm very curious about. You got those nice stalactites that have been hanging down from this edge of a nodule that I found that was broke this way. I'm curious if I grind this away, will this continue or where will they end? And I want to expose them so that I can polish it where you can see them all. That'd be so cool. Here we go. All right, here we go. Okay, I've been grinding for a while, and you can see how little there is still there. So it looks like most of the stalactites are here. They get smaller as they go this way. I can see tiny ones along the rim here. So to be able to expose what I really want, I think I'm going to take the saw and cut this part off, thus giving me better access to hopefully expose the part I actually want. So let's do that. So I just cut the edge off, and as you can see, so you do have a few good stalactites still under there, but the center of this geode is mostly this milky white, just making it so hard to see. So we've got to remove all of this before we can really see it. So we're probably going to have to cut through quite a few of these stalactites just so we can expose them so we can enjoy it. The other option would be to go from the outside. I wonder if that would be the better option. Because then it'll cut the base of the stalactite, and they'll just be kind of hanging in there. And then this will be the background. Well, let's give it a shot. Let's try grinding the outside and see what happens. Okay, see, that's what I was worried of. You'd see the backs of them, and you wouldn't be able to see this. So it's not going to work. I guess we'll just grind away this until we expose enough that we got a nice view of whatever's left at that point. Probably will be half of what this is currently. All right, away we go. I've been grinding for a while, and I think that's about as good as it's going to get, because it's how far am I willing to go, and what am I willing to lose to hopefully gain. So I think this stalactite right there, I want to keep as much as possible. I've lost a few small ones here, but kept a lot. You can see other ones poking out. And I can't really do much more of this before I start losing these. So I think that's where we're going to do it. So let's go ahead and polish it up. And there it is, all polished up. Really pretty. I do wish the stalactites were taller, that there was more of this clear chalcedony in the middle rather than the white milky stuff. But it is what it is, and it is still beautiful. Very, very nice. That's a good way to end today. So we'll pick up the video on day 2. It is day 2, and look, got some like sportsman's tape. You know, things like rock climbers and stuff use, to see if that'll help keep me from grinding my fingers. And they allow me a little bit more dexterity, a little bit better grip on things. Anyway, let's start with polishing up a small piece of seam that I got this year. So that should look really good. Let's see what it looks like all polished up. Here it is, all polished up. Look at that. That is quite nice. Very small, but still very nice. How about a nice little Veracite specimen? Cool. All right, here we go. Polishing this up. Let's see how it looks. And there it is, polished up. Very nice. You can really see the nice grades in this one, from where it starts as green Veracite and then it becomes unstable and gets replaced. And you see the first thing it replaces to is the white, and then later on the blue and the yellow. Pretty cool. Yeah, they fell off. The tape fell off my forefingers, and I'm thinking I just needed a longer strand to where it could actually stick to itself better. Okay, what's next? Let's try some red agate from the San Rafael swell. It is pretty fractured, but it looks nice. So I'm hoping once it's polished up that the fractures won't detract very much, and it'll be really nice. All right, let's get some more tape on my fingers, and let's get to it. There it is. This one took a while. It is agate, so it does take some time, and it's a little large, so it took a bit, but we finally got it. Look at that. Beautiful. A little piece broke off right here from that inherent fracture. Nice looking piece of red agate. Even if I don't end up keeping these, this is good practice. So, but it does look nice. I really do like that. Next up, I'm going to do this tiny little nodule that I got earlier this year. See how it's got those little stalactites hanging down in? Those look so cool. So I thought it'd be fun to polish it up. And being small, it shouldn't take too long. Well, I've been struggling to get the center of these. These agates, they're hard and they're tough to get all the scratches off. I'm going to stop it there, though, because this is just a small one, and all you need to do is be able to see the nice stalactites, which you can now, so I'm just going to stop it there on that one. That's good enough. And you can see where I tend to grind. So I tend to grind right there near the tip of that one, and then roll along the side of that one. And then actually the thumbs tend to be at the tips of them, so I might have to put some protection there. But all right, next I'm just going to do a very quick small one. This should just take a few minutes. And it's all polished up. Yeah, that was quick. Only a few minutes. All right, I'm going to take a break for a bit, and then I'll put some more tape on the fingers, and we'll continue on to the next one. Next up, let's do a fossil shell from the bird's eye marble. Do another one of these. And there it is, all nicely polished up. Yeah, these come out really nice. That's a lot of fun. So there we go, another shell, fossil polished up. Next up, another Veracite specimen. So I don't know if we're going to get down deep enough to polish what's left of that, because this one, fell out and I glued it back in, but there wasn't a lot there. So this is the side that I'm definitely going to want to make look nice. This one, we'll see if I grind far enough to polish the middle or not. All right, let's get to it. And here it is polished up. As you can see, I managed to get most of that polished on that side. Interesting enough too, when I first found this, when I first cut it, this part fell out and I had to glue it back in. This did not though, so I didn't have to glue it. However, it's loose. So if I push it, it moves back and forth. But it's not loose enough to where it can actually come out. So I was wondering if that would affect the polishing, but as you can see, it still managed to polish up just fine. Well, that's cool. As the final thing to polish today, we'll do this last Veracite specimen. Should look quite nice. And that's where we're going to end this video. Whew, all right, here we go. Let's do it. Final one. And there it is, final polished specimen of the day. It's still a little bit wet, it hasn't fully dried off, but the polish on it does look pretty good. I'm happy with it. So there it is, the final one of the day. That's it from this video. And that's another polishing video come and gone. Now that I've done a few polishing videos, I can definitely tell when I'm watching them, they're not nearly as entertaining as a rock hounding video. And even the rock cutting videos I think are better as well, because then you get to see something cut open and revealed for the first time. Whereas polishing, you're just taking something you can already see how good it is and polishing it up. So polishing videos, I'm gonna do them throughout the winter and put them out. I am gonna try and see if I can find a way to set up the saw so that I can do some cutting videos during the winter, despite the cold and the snow. I'll see if I can figure something out so I can do some cutting videos and at least get a few of those mixed in as well. So yeah, they are what they are. So I hope you're at least getting some enjoyment out of them while we wait for the next season of rockhounding. And this will be the last video of 2025. This is the end of December. So that's the 2025 season come and gone, and looking back on it, I'm excited that I've been able to recover so much this year. Last year, I feel like I barely did any recovery. But this year has been a year of recovery. So I'm excited for 2026. I'm excited to see what we're going to find in the new year once we get back to the rockhounding season. And maybe during the winter I'll find a time to get further south and maybe get some rockhounding in. We'll see. Now that I'm working though, now that I'm teaching, it might be a little tricky. Anyway, until next time, remember there is treasure everywhere.